All right, everybody. Getting all ready here in the studio, Now Media Studio. All right, Jonathan.
Hey, Sherman.
Let's do this, buddy. We'll start here. Boom. Biz Talk with Sherman. That's what we're talking about today.
Sit down, my friend. We're ready to go. You're live. We're broadcasting live.
Let's do it.
Yes, we do. 5-6 minutes. Goes into commercial. We'll be the guest.
Let's do the intro.
Yeah, we'll do an intro.
I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
Welcome, everybody, to Biz Talk with Sherman, and welcome back to another episode. Very excited. Thank you for the Now Media team. We're very excited, folks. We have a couple really exciting announcements to let you know of. If you're rocking Apple TV or Roku, you can now get Biz Talk with Sherman broadcast right to you. Got some really exciting things there. At the same time, if you've missed a live episode here, we typically roll this out every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, whereas I also recently heard, Jonathan, we call it Texas time. So if you want to be able to, if you miss an episode, you want to go to nowmediaradio.com and you can check out previous episodes of Biz Talk with Sherman, also known as Guests in the West. So the way that we end up doing this is we want to be able to partner up and share the stories of now the various business owners, entrepreneurs, those people that are making things happen in this great Houston area. And so Jonathan's pulling up the website for those that are watching in video. As he's scrolling down there on the nowmediaradio.com website, you'll be able to see previously shown episodes. And so we've talked to nonprofits, we've talked to people in business, we've talked to people that are running the chambers of commerce, particularly the one that's strong out here that we are members of is the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And so we're excited to be able to make sure that this can be a mainstay for you to be able to help you understand what's going on out there. So as people think about shopping local or working local, be able to hear the business owners that are making things happen here in our great community. And so we're really excited about that. So again, nowmediaradio.com. You can check out Roku, Apple. You can download this also, if you're streaming this in the audio format in a podcast. And so you can be able to do that in your variety. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, variety of different places. So very excited to be able to have this out there for you. And so one of the key things, Jonathan, I'm telling people about these days is you want to be informed but not inundated. And what I mean by that is, sure, you can watch the news, you can talk to people about what's going on in our marketplace, but in our communities, but don't fall into the idea and influenced by other people's opinions and not facts. So for example, you might know that COVID-19 exists and that it's out there, but you want to avoid people that are just talking about opinions, non-fact, or just complete conspiracy theories, because there's no value to you in helping you progress. And so I find that very much in the business world right now where people are, well, I'm working from home, I'm doing all these different things. And so what's happening is they're believing the excuses of why they're not executing, thriving, and surviving during this particular time. And I guess in that case, it would be more like surviving and then thriving and really dominating in their specific area of expertise. And so don't allow what's occurring on the news to really formulate what you can be doing to really execute. Last week you talked with Michael Rager, who's on a broadcast right after this, Teach Your Business to Fish. And he was talking about how a lot of times when it comes to marketing, people end up spending a lot of money on marketing that's completely wasted because they ultimately don't know who their customer is. And when you don't know who your customer is and what they want and what they want to accomplish, then you end up missing out. One of the other things that I'm a big champion for is people are still marketing like it's 1972. Now again, first and foremost, know where your market is. At the same time, understand that if your market, you have the ability to target market people. If you remember, we had Dean LaGrange on not too long ago from LaGrange Digital, and he was talking about Facebook advertising and how you can use keywords and zip codes and specific individuals that have searched things in the past in Facebook, and so you can be very laser focused in that marketing approach. And that can be extremely powerful for people as they look at what they're doing. And so I think for a lot of people, it's having a look at what they're doing from a marketing standpoint, whether that's the activity, the time commitment, the posting, the content, and also if you're paying for anything. And so one of the big things that that Now Media is supportive of is your video business card. Right now, so many people are now shifting from working face-to-face, and now they're working from home in a digital, virtual world. One of the best ways to connect with people actually that are getting opened up is via text message. And so if you want to be able to share your digital business card with people beyond just text, now you can do that. So Now Media does about a 60-second video business card that you can share your story, and you can get people to be engaged with who you are and what you do. Remember that old adage, it's not so much what you know, it's who you know. The truly most important piece of that is the step evolution beyond that. It's not so much who you know, it's who knows you and what you do. And that becomes extremely powerful. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, how many millions of words will a video say? So instead of using that old school business card, it's now time to come to 2020 and beyond and have a digital video business card. It can share your story, the why, the how, and the what of what you do. And that's going to be extremely powerful. So we're excited, folks, to be able to have you on the lineup. If you want to be on Guest in the West, Business Talk with Sherman, or the Guest in the West, we want you to reach out to George at nowmedia.tv. If you want to get on Guest in the West and you're a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, we want you to email Monica over at marketing@hwcoc.org, and you can come and be a guest here. If you know a business and you want them to be featured here, please reach out to us. Again, let George know over at George at nowmedia.tv, and we can get them in to be a guest here on Biz Talk with Sherman. We're very excited to be here with you folks today. We got a great lineup, talking to some mortgage lender and also some other people in finance, so we can get a good pulse of what's going on out there in the business. Amazing that we can actually talk to a mortgage lender during this time with interest rates so low. So let's take a quick commercial break, everybody, and we're going to come back with Biz Talk with Sherman. Let's go. Let's see how this is turning out. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you can hear us. All righty. Thanks for chiming in. We're going to be bringing in the first guest here. Let's get him. Let's move this. All right. All right, my man, have a seat. Do you have a biz card by chance?
Yes, I do.
Sherman, and the name is?
Malcolm.
Malcolm, that's what I thought. Okay.
Nice to meet you,
All right,
sir.
my man. And you're on the commercial side, or?
Commercial side, yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome. We got
I'm
your
sorry,
Facebook
we
Live.
have Logics in here. I'm just wanting to
Really?
let you know.
Really? Boo.
You know why? It's you guys' fault.
Wait, what happened? What do we do?
You don't offer a full gigabit upload.
Upload? Well, we do on an EDI direct fiber route. So yeah, we do have it available.
I asked, not for this building though.
Not for, well, it's construction. It might be expensive. So
That's
like
the
I
only
said, we
reason,
can-
because I wanted to have you guys here,
Yeah.
and we went with Logix. I mean, not that, but I just wanted to let you know, is because for us, we do need a full 1 gigabit,
Upload because it's videos left and right.
because
It's all right all over the
because
world. Yeah.
the signal has been picked up by our affiliates right now.
Yeah.
So we cannot live on 35 megabits per second. We will choke to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, how's your experience with Logic? Like,
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Okay,
I mean, and we're paying $500 for fiber,
500. Okay.
so it's pretty damn good.
I'm not gonna lie.
But right now, we're in the verge of choke. I mean, we're this close to fully use the, because we're broadcasting right now 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's the same you get on.
So in Houston, like I said, construction will be required, but we could do 10 gigs by 10 gigs. That's what we have.
Yeah,
So
but you're gonna-
dedicated fiber.
How much are you gonna charge me?
It's gonna cost.
Yeah, I want to have one on my legs. No.
Hey,
But I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah.
Maybe one of your children.
Huh?
You can at least one of your children.
No, I'll keep my children. I mean, I'll give you Jonathan's nuts. Maybe they're worth more. Because I will be watching, okay? And I'm gonna talk to you once you're finished.
Okay, good.
All right, Malcolm.
20 seconds.
So pretty easy, your story. Just talk to the mic. You'll feel like you're eating it. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and there's my camera. That's
12
you.
seconds.
And that's Facebook Live. Welcome back to Biz Talk with Sherman, everybody. Super excited to talk to Malcolm Miller, from Comcast Business.
Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah, Malcolm in the middle. So, Malcolm Miller, welcome to Biz Talk with Sherman.
Pleasure to be here. Glad to be here with Biz Talk with Sherman.
All right. Hey, well, so let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit about your story. What brings you here?
Yes. So, man, one of the colleagues, I had the pleasure of getting introduced to George. He told me what you guys do here. I thought I was very excited. Myself, I work with a lot of business owners, in Houston, being with Comcast Business. So I'm a senior business kind of executive, so I'm connecting, making a lot of meetings, consulting, just kind of finding out what those needs for the business might be so I could put a technology package with them. So yeah, being here, we got a great opportunity to introduce more people. Hopefully, we can help within the Houston area.
And so what specifically, Comcast being a large organization, what do you guys focus on in your area of expertise?
Yes, so with Comcast being a huge organization, right, nationwide, sometimes, with the business, there might be some individual personal needs that need to be addressed to, so that's where I bridge that gap, right? Instead of having to call a 1-800 number or online chats or, hold times associated like that, you can go directly to a representative like myself who's local, here in Houston, understand the landscape, understand your business, can consult with you, understand what your needs is, and tailor package something that will work for you instead of just a blanket solution going online might offer.
Gotcha. And so I know a lot of businesses are having to relook at their technology packages, particularly with a lot more staff working in remote areas and needing to get into the server, and the server saying, hey, we need a little more space here.
Yes, so 2020 has been trying times on a lot of businesses. And, fortunately, luckily, there's technology that really kind of cushioned the hit of the economy and COVID and what that did to the landscape. So, the demand on our network has went up almost 100%, right? What we're seeing a lot more is remote working, people transitioning from the brick and mortar business or the office to transitioning from home. And those are some of the things, I can assist in. And with restaurants, for etc., they're going more towards Uber Eats, more towards online. So, yeah, the businesses that have been nimble and ones be able to adapt, and some are seeing more success than ever before. So there is a silver lining with all the turmoil that's been going on this year.
That's good. And so for right now, for business owners listening, what's some of the things that you over at Comcast, you guys help businesses deal with?
Deal with, right? So, I'll go back to my previous point, the transition a lot of businesses are making, right? So instead of paying that hefty telecommunication bill at the office when nobody's there, why not transition that to some of your at-home employees? Some of our clients, like, hospitals, for et cetera, their needs have been different. Their demand has actually been increased, so they need something rapid, something fast. So having a representative to talk to directly to kind of expedite some of those situations, you can definitely assist with. Businesses that are growing, construction, Houston, even through everything that's going on, is still growing. There's a lot of construction, a lot of new businesses. When your business is up and ready to go, you want to make sure that you have the technology because demand is higher than it's ever been before.
That's amazing. So with any tips for business owners that might be finding, hey, we're just not getting the same speed, like, we're on Zoom calls, we're on these Microsoft Team meetings, and it seems like we're getting stuck, and it's almost buffering in a sense.
Yeah. So that is actually common. It's something that definitely happens when you think of technology. When you think of internet speeds and you think of bandwidth, think of it kind of like traffic. So if you're in your neighborhood and you're in your office and everybody at your home is working, at their office too as well, demand is higher. If everybody's on the same time, consider it as traffic. All right. So like I say, it, indirectly, what, somebody might be doing down the street can affect you. We do have solutions to combat that. We do have, some personalized, options and solutions that can help you with the upload speeds, the download speeds, so that you can be free and have a smooth experience, whether it's a Zoom call, or whether it's your conference call, or whether it's, just uploading, files, etc.
So when an employee, let's say they VPN into the office network, does that mean that they're filtered into the business network and then onto the various, IT, internet?
Yeah, exactly. You pretty much, that's, on a high level, essentially what your VPN will do.
Yeah.
Provides extra security, of course, too, as well for the business. So, it's better visibility on what's going on within that network and who's accessing and whether it's vulnerable or not.
So if a business owner maybe has several employees complaining about a slow bandwidth, it might not be the employees' homes, it might be their own network at the office.
Yes. So it gets complicated, right?
Yes.
Because it could be congestion in the server, it could be congestion on the network, it could be congestion, etc. What's great about the solution that we offer at Comcast, is a very modern network. Our support staff, I think, is some of the best that's out there. Like I say, we do have local escalation teams. So, like I say, if you having any of those issues, definitely contact me or somebody like myself. That way we can get somebody out there and at least check it out and see what those headaches might be.
And that's a crucial thing, I think, a lot of times is people, especially as we get more comfortable working online, we won't expect that to be normal, right? So at this point, if someone's like, they're lagging, I just tell them to log off and just call me on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it delays the conversation, you're missing every other word.
Right.
It's just silly. Let's just go to a phone call then, right? There's no point in having this completely interrupted conversation.
When it's working good, life is great. You don't think nothing of it. But like I say, if there's those hiccups that come out, man, it's the worst thing that can happen to you and for your business eventually. So, like being able to connect, technology is needed more than ever. Comcast provides the most reliable network in the city of Houston too, as well. So, like I say, if you're having some of those issues, you're with a competitor, definitely it won't hurt to have a little consultation just to kind of see if the solution we provide is right for you.
Absolutely. So if someone's listening, what's a great way for them to get in touch with you?
Yes, so there's two ways to reach me directly. My email address is my first name _ last name, Malcolm Miller, at Comcast.com. Call me, reach me directly. My cell phone number, 832-584-6307. Call me, text me. I'm here local in Houston. Down to meet, of course, with COVID protocol. I'll wear my mask. I'll make sure it's safe and protected here. But I'm open to all these things, and really that's what I love. My job is just meeting with people. The relationships that I built is amazing. They'll live with me forever, the rest of my life. and be able to provide a solution that really helps the business. That's how I get fulfillment at the end of the day.
I love that. So business owners out there or employees, if you don't want to wait on a whole time with your competitor, give Malcolm Miller a call. Cell phone number 832-584-6307. And I take it you pick up versus an automated phone
I
number.
pick up. Yeah, I will pick up. You hear my voicemail, and if I happen to be a little busy, just send me a text message or voicemail. I promise to get back to you.
That's amazing. And so that's really where I think the crucial element comes here is being able to utilize your skill set in a business that's running 24/7, right? And we cannot have downtimes if we're trying to make sales.
Yes, so we love technology for what the solution it provides, but what it also, if you want that old school feel, and actually talk to a person, that's where I come in.
Awesome. So last thing, I want to be able to just jump in a little bit because obviously you mentioned about COVID protocols, wearing masks, social distancing when you're visiting with business owners. How's the marketing right now going for you? Because I'm sure sometimes you used to be able to drop into businesses and just say, hey, how's things going? What does it look like now for you, Malcolm?
Well, yes. So to a scale, I could sympathize with businesses are going through. Because my job has completely transitioned since March. Since March, we stopped reporting to the office. Since March, we stopped going out in the field, interacting, and having those meetings. So I went from, B2B, a person in your face, introduce myself, shake your hand, to pretty much person on the other side of the phone or person sending out an email. So what really has been, valuable for me is just the relationships I built. Right, just trying to get myself out there. The more people I could expose myself to, the more people I can help at the end of the day. So yeah, it's been a huge transition for me. I imagine it's been 10 times that for your local entrepreneur. But like I say, there's always a silver lining, and I think after this, some of the things that we learned, we could definitely be stronger businesses, and myself can be a better solution provider for people in Houston.
Amazing. That's a really good perspective that I'm glad you share with you. I think a lot of people they get stuck, Malcolm. They think like, oh, I need to go meet new people. But if they look internally, look at my network first. Let's go there, and then how can we help those people? And then maybe they can refer us, right? Do you have a raving client? Do you have a raving fan, and they can refer you to another business owner?
Yes, exactly. Introducing to right people at the right time. I interact with so many people, and it's mutual. Like I say, if somebody's going to refer to me, I give that back out to them. And of course, we cannot forget platforms like this, which is so valuable right now. The utilization of social media, just get in front of a whole bunch of people. When you can't just knock on everybody's door and show up at everybody's business. I mean, there's no words for how valuable it is.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I appreciate you coming on. Glad Georgia connected you. And you're a forward thinker. You're the first one to come on in the last year in this space. So this is really great to be able to have you on. And I know a lot of businesses are really needing this kind of service. You can't start a business today without having this right in your back pocket.
Yes. I mean, really, and to the converse, you are seeing a lot of business that started on an online platform before they even start with their store and their location.
Yeah.
So yeah, even whether you've been in business 50 years, 20 years, if you have something that's working, that's great, but there's also some technology solutions out there that can help you go, just take you to the next level, right? So a 15-minute consultation with me, it won't hurt, but what it can provide can be, so detrimental to your business.
Yeah. All right, so alleviate some of those headaches, folks. So if you're getting some of that buffering, your Zoom calls are coming in and out, you get a hold of Malcolm Miller. Make sure you guys can get that taken care of. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Thanks, Malcolm, for coming on the show.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. Thanks for having me, Sherman.
All right, my man. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, thank you. It's a
We'll
pleasure
do one of
all
these.
mine.
Thanks a lot. And I'll shoot you an email. I'll give you my contact information. I don't put my business cards in the car.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome.
Oh wait, no, I'll take the photo later. All right. Marcus Ford.
So I think we're gonna have two sections of him. So we
Okay.
have around 30 more minutes left of the show. So
Oh, he does investments, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about like market. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll first talk about business, and we'll come back and talk about what's going on in his mind. All right, everybody, we're going to come back here, bring in Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus, how you doing, man?
All right, how
Give
you
him
doing?
this card. You got one for him. I have one for me just because I'll bring up. Oh, we're live. All right.
Oh, wow, okay.
We got you right in. Here we go.
Okay. we got a,
So mic phone, you're gonna be like a fist away. That's your camera. As you're looking at it, that's Facebook Live on my cell phone. And then I'll be sometimes talking here, even though I'm asking you the question. I'm just talking to the audience there. Okay. So radio, video, podcast. Where else do we? Roku, Apple TV,
Apple
whatever.
TV, all that stuff.
Okay. YouTube.
Yeah,
so-
a bunch of stuff.
It goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track.
So, Marcus Ford, Increase Financial, that's the name of the firm,
Mhm.
okay? Are you the principal or the
No,
owner?
I'm an agent.
You're one of the agents?
Mhm.
Okay. And then the licensing, Series 6, 7?
Series 65 and Texas Life and Health.
Just like enough. Okay, perfect. All right.
Look, those cufflinks.
Thanks, man. So then he'll talk. So feel free to talk to me, address the camera, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Sure.
And then, so what we'll do is we'll hit it, quit it with just your story, what you're doing, and then take a quick commercial break. Then we'll come back and have you give us kind of, hey, tell what people should be kind of be concerned about, and maybe the market and thoughts on that.
Sure.
Sound good?
Sure, sounds good.
So I do this to you.
12 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one.
Welcome back to Biz Talk with Sherman. I'm very excited to bring on Marcus here from Increase Financial.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All
Absolutely.
right. So, for the people that might not know who you are, why don't you just give them a little bit of your story?
Sure. So my name is Marcus Ford. Of course, I'm with Increase Financial, and what we do is we believe in power and planning. So, because I'm the product of a marriage of educators. So both of my parents are educators. They taught for 30 plus years in the Georgia public school system. And so what was powerful for me was finding out that I wanted to help people early on. So I've lived a very interesting life for a country boy from Brunswick, Georgia. I went to school at Florida State University, walked on to the football team, played for Bobby Bowden for 3 years. And during that time, of course, I had NFL dreams, right? But during that time, life lessons, they took me into another path, into a path of service. And so during that time, my mother was actually able to put me through school debt-free without having to take out any student loans, and she never made over $60,000 a year. And the whole reason that she was able to do that was because she sat down with someone who does what I do now, that showed her that there was power in planning and that she could reach her goals. And so from that moment on, it's been my duty, my self-appointed duty, to just pay it forward to anybody that I can, to just provide some knowledge that can change the trajectory of their life.
And that's amazing. What a great story that you were educated yourself, and also then were able to then be the beneficiaries of education for mom. So when it comes to the financial services, people that might be familiar with insurance, Increase Financial, what do you guys do when it comes to that plan? What's that kind of look like?
So for us, we're what's called a comprehensive financial planner. So what that simply means is we plan from the ground up. We plan for the foundational planning, which includes insurance, retirement, also annuities, and then we move up to the more complex investments. So we like to take the term, we help people gain, maintain, and pass along wealth in a tax-efficient manner.
Gotcha. And so right now, when it comes to some of the different products or services that you can offer, what are some of the things that you guys kind of deal with from a solutions perspective?
Sure. So we specialize in making sure that the client has exactly what they need. So we have strategic relationships with a lot of the high carriers in the industry, so that we make sure we find exactly what they need that's going to fit their specific goal. So we don't do a lot of the cookie cutter type of planning. So for me, I like to have that special touch where, okay, what does your future look like? What do you want to make your future? And we go from there.
Gotcha. And so in that conversation where you guys are customizing out a plan, how can people like get in touch with you and connect?
Sure. So the best way to get in touch with me is through my mobile device. I have my cell phone on me all the time. My number is 850-322-6377. Yeah, I never changed the Tallahassee number from my college years. So my cell phone is the best way. You can also reach me through email at mford@inc-financial.com. That's my email. And you can also schedule time with me on my Calendly. I tell you that Calendly is a lifesaver. You can reach me on Calendly at calendly.com/mford-10.
Okay. So what a great way to be able to, you're leveraging a lot of different ways that people can get in touch with you, which is, I think, is powerful. Tell people what Calendly is in case they're not familiar with it.
Sure. So Calendly is an app and an interface that schedules time for you. It looks at your calendar, whether it's a Google Calendar or an Outlook. I have Google and Outlook merged on mine. So it looks at that time and it's able to schedule time where it sees gaps. So if you don't have anything scheduled, then it lets people know, okay, this is an available time. You can click on that time and it'll automatically put it on your calendar. Because I make the joke that I gave my assistant the decade off, so Calendly really came in the clutch.
It sure does. And what a great way to be able to just streamline it for people as they might be listening to this podcast, they might be listening to the radio in the live format, and they can just say, hey, calendly.com/mford-10.
Correct.
And they can get right on with and get onto your calendar.
Absolutely.
What a great way to be able to do that. So then when it comes to that conversation, sometimes people think when they hear comprehensive financial planning, they think, I need to have a lot of money. What does that look like for you guys? Is there a minimum net worth that people need to have in order to work with you?
Absolutely not. For us, it's more about the help that we can provide. So even if we can sit down and carve out a budget for you to make sure that you are getting to the spot that you want to be in, and eventually you'll be able to invest $10,000, $20,000 in the market, then that we've done our job then, as long as we put you on the path.
That's amazing. So then, it's just like your mom, who was earning about $60,000, kind of highest earning income years, you could help them, someone like that, get themselves on a good financial trajectory.
As well, yes, as well.
Gotcha. All right, so last personal question. Coming from Georgia to Houston, I know it's probably you meandered over here, but what brought you to the great city of Houston?
Wonderful question. So I played football at Florida State, and my wife was actually on the volleyball team. We make the joke that I met my wife in the weight room. So
there's probably some truth to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you she was doing some power cleans, and she had me from there.
That's all it took. He's like, whoa, 155, that was a nice form, all right.
Absolutely. It was all about the form. And so from there, I actually had a teammate who was from Beaumont. So he said, yeah, I know her, so I can talk to her for you. Because I was a little shy. Big guys are usually pretty shy, so I was a little shy. So he talked to her for me, and the rest was history.
That's amazing. So, two college athletes combined and then come here to Houston. Is she still working, and what's she doing?
Yes, she's actually the principal pharmacist in charge at Parkwood Pharmacy in Alvin.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
she's following her passion as well, because she, from an early age, wanted to be a pharmacist based on how she saw pharmacists taking care of her family members. And so she's following her passion. and I'm very proud of her.
That's amazing. So interesting that both of you are really influenced by family in the professions that you guys have taken now at this particular stage in life. And so what a noble service that you're doing, helping people, whether it's getting on a budget, especially during these times when people are looking at their budgets, I think, a little bit more closely right now. At the same time, you can help people plan for the future and invest their money and manage it for the future.
Absolutely.
All right, what we're going to do, Jonathan, is we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with Marcus. We want to jump in a little bit, talk about the market, kind of the economy, what people are dealing with right now, and making sure that people aren't making knee-jerk reactions on what they're seeing right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So thanks, man.
All right. Thank you.
Not like, obviously we don't need you to like. This is not like MSNBC or some money show, but just kind of your thoughts on the market, on the economy, and we'll jump into kind of just the concepts that people have on investing. So I think a lot of people are like, I'll wait till it's bottom, or I'll wait till it grows, or whatever. They just want to wait, right? They want to kind of time the market. It's like they think it's like playing double dutch, right?
Yeah.
And so just want to kind of jump into that because I think that's where people make some really poor financial decisions,
Absolutely.
right? Cool, man. College athletes, man. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So what position did you play?
I played on the offensive line,
Okay,
so I
so
was right
the
guard.
bigger the better.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So how much do they make you eat in college ball in order to be the right size?
Oh man, it's crazy because you have the they call it the training table.
Yeah.
And so you go to the training table and they'll report to the coaches, okay, you aren't eating, you only ate one meal. What's going on?
Yeah.
And they monitor your weight.
So it's
make
like
sure.
so being full is not appropriate.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man. That is wild. So was there like a certain amount of calories that they wanted you to intake?
Well, they actually did towards the end. We actually
Okay.
had a specialized nutrition program.
Okay.
So the nutritionist would come up with a program. These are the foods you need to eat. These are the
Yeah.
calories you need to take in. So everything was completely specialized.
Yeah. So how hard was it to break some of those habits, man?
It was very tough because once you stop playing,
Yeah.
you kind of keep eating like you're playing.
Yeah,
and,
like a champ.
you're
And you're in your 20s, you know?
So yeah, it's very tough. Very tough.
That's
Takes
crazy.
a lot of discipline.
Oh, I can imagine. I was talking to another guy. He played for Texas Tech, and after 1 year, he was on the O line, and he's like, "That's it. I can't do it."
Mm-hmm.
He said he came into the lunchroom, and one of the coaches, he made the comment like, "Holy cow, the guy's having like 8 big glasses of milk,
Mm-hmm.
and just for lunch, right? That, on top of like how many plates he had." And he goes, "Well, get used to that look because that's what you'll be doing too."
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is not. This is way too much. Like 12,000 calories a day, just to be at like 280, and that's a small size, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Plus, I mean, you guys are freaking fast and strong as all get up as well.
Yeah.
It's not just weight. All right. Cool. So how long have you been with Increased Financial?
I've been with Increase for about 4 years now.
Okay. How you liking it?
I like it. I like it really.
How did you
really
get
well.
introduced to the industry?
I got introduced to the industry. The president of our company actually had some clients where I worked previously. I previously worked with Texas Southern
Okay.
in their treasury management department.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And so we talked for a little while. He shared with me his vision of the company,
Yeah.
and I told him, man, I'm all on board.
That's awesome. It's unique, in our industry to go insurance and then 65. That's what we do at Mutual Omaha. Because it's most firms, right? It's SIE 6 and 63 or the 7 and 66. So it's unique that you went the 65 route because that's, to us, it's the faster way to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, then you have active money managers instead of you trying to do it, right? So utilize a team of CFAs instead of you trying to manage the market.
Yeah.
So, because we ultimately deal with Main Street, not Wall Street, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which is nice because I want days off. You know what I mean?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Biz Talk with Sherman. Very excited to be jumping into the economy, jumping into the market with Marcus over at Increased Financial. Again, folks, best way for you to get a hold of him, cell phone number, he's got it for you, That, by the way, still holding on to that Tallahassee number. 850-322-6377 or email mford, as in Marcus Ford, at inc-financial.com. INC being like increase financial. So power and planning is the tagline. So for people, again, as a reminder, when it comes to that planning side, what does that look like then for you guys when you say comprehensive planning?
So sure, comprehensive planning, of course, we liken it to building a house. So when you're building a house, the first thing you have to lay is the foundation. And we're very cognizant of the fact that nobody gets excited over the foundation. They don't say, yeah, look at them pour that concrete.
That thing is thick. I love the thickness of that.
Exactly. They don't say, well, he poured that concrete like a pro. But the foundation is the most important part of the house, because if the foundation is not laid correctly, then everything else is going to crumble no matter how beautiful the structure is. And so a comprehensive financial plan starts with the basics, making sure that you have the right protections in place, the life insurance, the disability, the retirement savings, an emergency fund, and of course home and auto as well make up that protection piece. And then from there we'll build up to investing in mutual funds and also other non-qualified plans, non-qualified being money that you've already paid taxes on, and so you can actually use that to supplement your retirement. And then from there, we'll move up to the more speculative investments. So one of the hot topics that have been real recently is, hey, I want to buy Tesla. Well, do you have enough money to put in the market to make an impact? Because buying 1 or 2 shares of Tesla, that's not really going to move the needle for your financial plan. So let's dial it back and let's look at a more nuanced way, because we want to do this surgically. We want to do it with a scalpel as opposed to using a hacksaw.
Yeah, that's a great imagery right there to imagine what that would look like surgically. So so that's really, really impactful. So I know there's a lot of people, kind of the adage out there is, I want to wait till it hits bottom to invest money, or I'm going to pull money out because I'm afraid that it's going too up and down. What would your advice be, just in general, to people when it comes to just their attitude towards the market?
Sure. So when you're talking about the market, you have to be 2 things. Number one, you have to be strategic and you have to be disciplined. So when I say strategic, I don't mean timing the market at all. What I mean is you have a goal in mind, and no matter what comes, you stick to that goal. So if you see short-term reports that are bleak for your investment plan, don't pull your money out. And I'll add some statistics to this. So there was a study that was done by Davis Advisors, who's one of the Main Street and Wall Street advisors. They took a poll of the top Wall Street advisors over the period of 1999 to 2019. And they looked at their predictions on where the market would be at the end of the year, and then they looked at the actual market performance. All 20 of them were wrong. They may have gotten the right direction, but they were wrong in magnitude. So what I'm saying is, the short-term game, nobody can time the market. The best thing that you can do is have an objective, stick to that objective, and make sure that you're not investing what we call emotionally. So you see a bad report, oh, I'm pulling everything out. Bad time to do it. When the market's at its peak, oh, I'm putting all my money in, I'm going to make money. Bad time again. So make sure you have your goals in mind, and that your goals are what you're investing off of, not the data that you see on a day-to-day basis.
That's really good advice. I think sometimes what happens is people hear on the news, right? They hear a specific stock, and won't name any companies, but they hear that it's going up and they're doing really well. And now they want to invest, right?
Right.
But why is that a bad idea?
Well, that's a bad idea because, well, all the money's already been made. So it's not going to make that much of an impact, you putting in your amount, whatever that amount is, into that individual stock, because you're not what's called a market mover. Mm-hmm. You're not putting in enough to make the needle move one way or the other.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of what's going to happen, right?
Exactly.
I'm sure sometimes it must be a little bit frustrating in helping people understand that, but I'm sure that's what you enjoy doing from an educational perspective.
Sure, absolutely. From an educational perspective, we love to help people to understand that you can't do this emotionally. If you invest emotionally, you're going to lose. You're going to lose all the time. And so when you have that long-term goal in mind, you understand that, okay, the market goes through cycles. And so maybe I'm going through a cycle right now, but it's going to rebound.
That's great. So last kind of thoughts here. I want to jump in a little bit. Your thoughts on the market. And again, we know that you're not predicting the future, nor you can't guarantee anything. These are just your thoughts, Marcus's thoughts on kind of what's happening in the market right now. So what are your thoughts on kind of where people what they can kind of make of what's going on in the stock market these days?
Sure. So my thoughts are looking forward. Right. We just came out of the longest bull market in the history of the country. 10 years and about 8 months, I believe. And so what we can expect is we hit the top. Now we're going to slowly go to the bottom because everything happens in cycles. So stay the course. Remember why you got in. Remember your objective. Most people's objective is to be able to retire comfortably. Remember that objective and don't change just based on the reports that you may see from time to time.
Gotcha. And then what are your thoughts on the overall health of the economy right now? A lot of people are concerned with, a lot of jobs, companies doing layoffs and, in the tens of thousands. What's kind of the overall feel and maybe what you're hearing as well from other investment companies on what the kind of the economy is feeling?
Sure. So my overall thoughts on the economy are that we're going through a rebuilding period, or we're going to enter into a rebuilding period, because we see a lot of larger companies are starting to lay people off. I mean, we still have record unemployment. I mean, I believe last count was 35 to 40 million people who are still unemployed. And so it's going to get worse before it gets better. Let me say that. And so it now is really the time to make sure that you have your finances in mind, because what we see is when we go through these cycles, and usually it happens every 10 years or so, we'll go through a cycle like this. People will, number one, they'll have their mortality at the forefront of their mind, and number two, they'll have their finances at the forefront of their mind. And so keep your finances at the forefront of your mind. Don't give in to the urge to invest emotionally, and just stay the course. Be able to stay the course, and by all means, talk to a financial professional. This is what we do. We sit down, and we're really like a coach, right? So we coach people through the hard times to get them to that overall objective.
And I think that it's probably a lot easier. You referenced the idea of a coach. It's probably a lot easier for a coach and a financial advisor to work with someone before they've made some really poor decisions.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wonderful advice. So last thing, anything that you're excited about, Marcus, that's going over there at Increase Financial? Sure.
I'm very excited about the Money Matters series. It's a webinar series that I'm hosting. I do two of them each month. My next one is going to be on October the 22nd. It's going to be covering just overall financial wellness. And then we'll also have topics in the later months about investing 101. We'll also have one that is totally geared towards insurance. What type of insurance do I need? When's the best time for me to make sure that I'm protected? And then from there, we're looking to expand that series. So we have those webinars going on twice a month. Next one is October 22nd. If you would like to view it, please send me an email by all means, or get on my Calendly, and I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link for that webinar, and we can talk through some things.
And just as a reminder for the folks that maybe just jumped into to this webinar or podcast video, how can they get in touch with you, Marcus?
Sure. So the best way to get in touch with me is through my cell phone, area code 850-322-6377, or my email, mford, that's as in Marcus Ford, at inc-financial.com. And then you can also get on my Calendly. That's at calendly.com/mford-10.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Marcus, for coming on, sharing with us your thoughts on the market and also the economy, and just sound advice, right? To be able to make sure that you stick your course. Strategy is what matters the most. It's not like double dutch, it sounds like, and trying to time the market and trying to figure out how do we get in here. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, folks. We're going to come back with what you probably should stop doing when it comes to marketing. All right, my man. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Love to be on again.
Absolutely. We'll get you a nice segment.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We'll also connect on, are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll send you a connection request.
Yeah. That'd be great, man. Thanks again for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll talk to George. We'll figure out how we can kind of get like a nice regular segment, talk about the business, and kind of have some insight there.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right, man.
All
Good to
right.
see you. Thanks a lot.
Good to meet you.
How much time do we have left, Jonathan?
We have around 10 minutes left.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Okay. So, let's do Now Media.
Okay.
Mark, the video business card.
Yeah.
Oh, bring up. There wasn't?
I can bring up some of the markets too.
Yeah, do that. And then maybe the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Okay. You have like their schedule.
Okay.
And then, but now media, have them on. So I'll talk about like, the other programs that are there, or, you know, kind of. I think, do we talk about the loop? Are they?
Yeah, we can do that.
So you know, I'll just make mentions to my
Yeah, mention a couple of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll first start with, as you bring up the market stuff, just kind of give me a heads up, like thumbs up that you
Yeah,
got it, and then,
yeah.
but I'll just start to kind of talk about some marketing thoughts.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything, any market in particular you want me to bring up? Or I can just bring up like the NASDAQ or something?
Yeah, that we used to use for the.
Market watch?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook. Sorry there. Doing a little planning. We had a couple people cancel. It's got to be flexible, so we're going to jump in here and finish off the show. Thanks again, everybody, for coming in. And then we'll keep rolling. Here we go. All right. Welcome back to Biz Talk with Sherman here with Mutual. I'm from Mutual Omaha. Very excited. I want to thank again Malcolm Miller from coming from Comcast Business. Again, if you want to get in touch with him, have a look at your overall business needs from a technology standpoint. Cell phone number 832-584-6307 or Malcolm_Miller at Comcast.com. And then if you want to be able to reach out to Marcus and get your financial house in order, Marcus Ford, you can reach out to him at 850-322-6377, or feel free to email him at mford@inc-financial.com. Really appreciate those two gentlemen coming on the show and sharing with us what they're doing to make Houston a great place to work, live, and play. As I mentioned before we had the commercial break here, I want to be able to remind you that when it comes to marketing, you want to be able to know your niche. Who is it that you're talking to? It doesn't mean that you can't work with any other individuals. So for example, if you work really well with business owners, number one, by the way, don't call them small business owners. Every business owner sees themselves as a business owner. They don't classify themselves as small, medium, or large. Only you do. That's marketing to them. And so one of the things that for when you're working with a business owner, and someone else might say, hey, would you give me advice? I run the sales team over here at this organization. They might still say, yes, I'd love for you to be able to come on and help me. So just because you're focused on a specific niche doesn't mean you can't solve other people's needs. But when it comes to a niche, it means that you're focused in on one particular area of expertise, and it helps you be someone that's going to be of value to a specific group of individuals. And so one of the things that I want to be able to just remind you of is when you're doing your marketing, make sure all that you're, whether that's branding, posting on social media, sending out mailers, advertising somewhere, it's going to hit that niche. And that becomes extremely powerful. I think Jonathan gave me the thumbs up. Just want to show you the market here. Marcus had brought it up today. You can see here on the Market Watch that the Dow Jones is down a little bit. So is the S&P 500. Gold, though, and oil are up, but they've taken a blow in the past. But gold typically does really well in the down market. So it's at 1900. It's pretty exciting if you own gold. Maybe you have some gold bars in the basement. Maybe you're still stuck on watching Die Hard, and you remember that they used to go after Fort Knox and try to steal gold bars. That used to be a big deal back in the day when the United States currency was tied to the gold standard. It is not anymore. And so we don't talk about gold and all its greatness, but it's still a great thing to be able to have if it's something that you want to put into your overall portfolio. But of course, first talk to a financial professional before you can do something like that. And then when it comes to marketing, folks, I want to talk to you a little bit about people, humans. Remember, behind every user, whether if you're going onto social media and you're connecting with people in Facebook groups or on LinkedIn, remember, if it's not a Russian bot, it's a human being. And so that human being has different passions, desires, hobbies, interests. And so someone had recently sent over to me as a recruiter from our office, this is just generic, hey, hoping to network/recruit. Didn't know if you're open to something we have giving away of an agency. Maybe you can build it up. Maybe not for you, maybe for somebody else. And so it was such a scattered, crappy DM in LinkedIn that number one, it wasn't direct. Number two, it had so many pieces that you could jump out of it, and it had nothing valuable, right? So it's literally like sending a blanket email to somebody and just saying, hey, do you want to buy something, right? Which is just absolute garbage. You have no idea if that person gives a crap about it or not. It's the same thing that I find for a lot of people that are trying to sell health and fitness to people that just don't give a crap. It's like going to McDonald's and saying, hey, all of you shouldn't be buying McDonald's, all of you should be over at the gym. Guess what? Wrong audience, right? They don't care if I'm eating McDonald's at that point. No offense to McDonald's, but I might be caring about that I'm eating some chicken nuggets and some French fries. I want to indulge, right? And so we need to give people that opportunity. Folks, when it comes to your business, connect with people that you like and trust first. Make sure that they know you're still in business. Encourage you, get involved with the Chamber of Commerce that you like. If you are an outgoing person, if you are a wallflower, and you don't like going on Zooms to virtually network with people, you don't like introducing yourself, then don't join the Chamber of Commerce. Don't waste your money. It's not worth your time. Maybe you should join a BNI, or maybe you should get out of sales and marketing if you suck at sales, right? So that's just the reality. Do what you're good at. Right? Not everybody wants to be a motivational speaker. Not everybody wants to be on a radio station, but I do, and I love doing it. That's because I like it, and it's something that I'm good at. Someone could say you're not as good as somebody else. Who gives a crap? I'm good at what I am. So it doesn't mean that you need to be the best. I don't need to be Tom Brady to still play in the NFL. So that's my thoughts for you today. When it comes to your strengths, know where you are, know where you stand. Appreciate it. Everybody stay tuned in here live. We got Michael Rager talking about teach your business to fish. and you guys can get some better tactics than I'm giving you right now. All right, thanks everybody. Sherman's out. All right, Facebook, got a little salty there. Hopefully you're all doing well. You go in, buddy. All right, everybody. See ya.